Greetings, dear suckers. My name's Joe Bob, and I'm very peeved, and welcome back to Sunless Rewritten. Not got much else to do here, not until I get more terror. So, let's go then. Let me just grab some extra of that, and let's go. To Kulakita once again. There is just so much to do in Kulakita. I don't know why they decided that port of all ports would have a billion things to do. I mean, there was that one famously lengthy and rewarding storyline in Kulakita. Not in Kulakita, sorry. I can't remember what the original port was named, god damn it. The Tomb Colonies, let's call it that. Damn. One of these days I'm gonna get the rare success from that. It's only like a 30% chance of it, I think. It's not that uncommon. Okay. Oh! Hello. Advise the Shadowed Servant. While giving informal shore leave orders to a group of crew members, you see the Shadowed Servant walking directly toward the swarm. Ask him why he is going that direction, assuming he knows that he cannot go further. Can't he? Just slush something over there. He mock pats himself down with concerned expression, as if he has lost his keys. I'm concerned I dropped something over there on my last visit, he says. He shines you a smarmy side smile as he walks directly toward the swarm. He passes through dense walls of mosquitoes, as if merely entering a light underbrush. He clearly does not care to share with you where he goes, and does not care what you think. Okay. Into the swarm. Into the swarm myself. There we go. I'll get some swarm spice since that's clearly useful. Out at Z. And then explore the tunnels. You set off intending to explore somewhere new, but inevitably, the tunnels start to look familiar, and your feet carry you to a place you've been before. Damn, a place I've already fully plundered. I guess I could grab one, why not? Damn. Giving Church? Oh wait, hang on. It didn't use up my something awaits you. Fucking A. A place of good cheer. Your search begins aimlessly, taking turns at random, but soon, the sounds of laughter draw you to somewhere you've never been before. The Church of Performative Charity. The size, shape, and smell of the building bring to mind one of London's stuffy banks. Uniformed acolytes gush to one another about their missionary work at various ports across the Z. Huh. Seek treatment for your recurring nightmare? Even sleep is a danger. Is there anything that can be done? Seek a solution to your missing soul? Knowing it's not there gnaws at you. Is there anything the acolytes can do? Seek treatment for your terrible desires. The forbidden taste lingers on your tongue. You would give anything to scrub it away. Seek treatment for your grave wounds. Is there a doctor in the house? And seek treatment for your sunlight addiction. It's not safe up there for Neathers. What's to be done? I should go to the surface sometime. Could be interesting. I forget what's up there. Interesting. But, well. I could give this guy more supplies. I brought some extra. Listen to a sermon about Zatargon. Listen to a sermon about Zatargon. What's the deal with that thing, anyway? I just came from there, more or less. The beast from the east. You think humans truly belong down here? We merely adopted the darkness. The Ozao were born in it, molded by it. They didn't see the light until they were already a man, and by then it was nothing to them but blinding. They pass that pollution on to everything they touch. Zdargon was not born a god. It was corrupted, deified, patched with Ozaean flesh until it became one of them. The most powerful gods are not born, but made. Remember that. Big if true. Is that also the case for those 4 creatures in the Violence Shrine? So your claim is what? They found a giant Z turtle, patched it with Ozaean flesh and fluids and what have you, until it became part of the Ozao? And then they worshipped it as a god for some reason? I don't know enough about the Ozao to contest that, but that seems odd. Listen to a sermon about the Kurai Kumainu. What other gods lie about the Z? The gods are lying? All you've heard is lies. The Shogun claims to have built the things, he says. Pah! Conquered them, certainly, and perhaps carved to suit his liking, but built? No one built them. He leans in close. They were grown out of precious gems and Z-water and still-living bones. They're alive as anything beneath their shells, and any day now they'll rise up and swim away. Mark my words. Listen to a sermon about the machine. How does the priest know all this exactly? The machine spreads inland further than the light reaches. The engineers won't tell you this, but its true name is the King of Hearts. It and the Dusk Machine are in love, for each is alive in a way that the other is not. Why, it wouldn't surprise me if wedding bells are on the horizon. Perhaps I should be... Probably false facts indeed. Perhaps I should be believing the opposite of whatever he says. Then again, the opposite of stupidity is not intelligence. Although his mention of gods being made, not born, certainly. Listen to a sermon about Mr. Feathers. He does have reliable sources for all this, right? Not just any old master. The masters of the bazaar. They've been here far longer than London. True. All except Mr. Feathers. They say he wasn't always a master, and now he's greater than any of them. His children, the mistresses, they revere him like a god, and through their adoration he's practically become one. Wait a second. Is that a reference to the Heart's Desire ambition from Fallen London, specifically the power ending? Mayhap. Listen to a sermon about the old gods. He's not just making it all up as he goes along, surely. A far sight greater than what we've got now. The might of Gabriel is but a taste of what existed before the hole in the roof, before cities started to fall, before light infested the Neath. I speak of beasts who swam in the air, giants whose head brushed stalactites, the very living stone that breathed and moved. Perhaps, if you go far enough east, such things are still there. Listen to a sermon about what the nasal cleric had for breakfast this morning. He's clearly run out of material, but if you're willing to keep paying... You won't believe what appeared in my toast. If one assumes that all beings contain a spark of the divine, that all things were created with a holy purpose, and that all actions are part of an infinitely complex cosmic dance leading to a glorious predetermined future, then unimaginable wonders can be found anywhere. The priest rather fails to get this point across, but you do the last steps of the legwork yourself, out of a paralyzed desperation to glean anything meaningful at all from his meandering droning. Ha! We're not going to be getting any more out of this, then. Unless we really need a terror reduction. Alright, well I've got you this violent ink. I've been meaning to write some more chants, but I need the right stuff to do it. You'll find it down south. The written word has power, you know. Oh, I know. Although it never fails to amuse me, all of the stories talking endlessly about how the written word has power. Yes, writers would want to believe that. Would want you to believe that. Every profession is going to tell you that their works have power, that their works shape civilization, shape history, shape reality itself. It's just that writers are the ones making the stories you read. The pen is mightier than the sword is, notably, a line written by a writer, not a swordsman. But never mind all that. Obviously everyone knows that the most important medium for shaping people's reality is YouTube videos. Dancing words. The outrageous seer writes with a quill in each hand. Some pages must be read left to right, some bottom to top, others backwards, through a mirror. Just to annoy you. The margins are filled with notes and corrections that spill onto other pages. Attempting to speak, let alone chant, the mismatched lines would be a fool's errand. So it's a relief to the congregation when the pages are fed into a fire instead. The flames spitting unnatural colors as the ink sizzles within it. The dead rat who bathes in the smoke doesn't so much as twitch. Now we need a scientific advancement or an extraordinary implication, neither of which I know how to obtain. Well, that's not entirely true. For the scientific advancement, anyway. But, well, I'm gonna need something awaits you for this. And anything to do with here. But fortunately, or maybe unfortunately, depending on your perspective, I think this is all the churches that are here. So next time I return here, I'll have a free something awaits you to do that stuff. But never you mind that. Gonna have to buy back a bunch of those supplies for a surcharge. Oh well. Always feels a little weird to see the apostrophe after the T. Ah. Snow front coming in. Hope we can avoid that. That's as bad as the wax winds. Those sorts of things, if you get caught in them, you get, much like if you're down to below half crew, you get shunted down to half speed. Not fun. Alright. Explore the town. Ooh. Sculptures by the shore. Your wandering takes you north of town, among the salt pools. Here, frosty pillars have been assembled and partly chipped into. Dozens of projects started and then abandoned out of frustration. You amble amongst these for a while before almost tripping over something that doesn't belong. Another work of art, or ambiguous eelith. A thinking creature made this, or the sea made this, or both. Rather ambiguous what the hell I'm gonna do with that, but never mind. Compose a port report. Perhaps a different approach is required. This time you start by making your own observations, noting the quantity of ships in the harbor. You're a few minutes in when a man in oil-stained clothes creeps up and shyly inquires if he can be of assistance. You have a pleasantly normal chat about the recent comings and goings. Plenty from Founders Island these days, he reflects. Captains finish their great work and have nowhere left to go. Founders Island. I've heard that name before. Anyway, can set off these 2 pirate flags. Oh, this is different. Do you know to whom that once belonged? The collector's eyes bulge out. That's the flag of Bloodbeard, or one of his successors at least. Now this will earn me a few taels. Mēkhanē. Alright. And that one too. Alright. Those were a lot more profitable than I expected them to be. And sell the spare Ozao flag. This probably once belonged to a different nation, but it's been soaked in Osean fluids beyond the point of recognition. Yes, that does seem to be a theme, doesn't it? They turn other things into more of themselves. And they carve themselves into other things. Or something along those lines. Loss and wonder. The collector puts on gloves before unfurling the flag. He stares at the stains wistfully. I was there, you know, he says, when Targon fell. Worm and beast tussling across the ocean, destroying islands in their wake. What I'd give to see that again. And I can use up all of that cash to purchase a London flag. How else are you to show off your nationalistic pride? Well, I can think of one way. Anyway. Okay, good. Didn't take the wrong one. I'll just grab some romantic literature for the lightship while I'm here. I guess technically this is a way to get scientific advancements, but I have no idea how to get those. So, bit of a moot point. Okay. Now then, gallery of sentences. Crap, damn it. I don't have something awaits you. It's one of those little annoyances of these short trips. Oh well. Follow the shadowed servant. He's up to something. Find out what. That just seems to be the running theme of this whole officer now, isn't it? Like trying to catch mist. He gives no sign that he knows he's being followed, but manages to lose you within the gallery with ease. There's nothing for it but to return to your ship. Indeed, to see a keeper is not an easy thing, especially one who does not wish to be seen. But never mind that. A most peculiar circumstance. Minutes after returning to your ship, a visual phenomenon in your peripheral draws your attention. Observe the gallery. Your crew rushes to the ship's railing, jaws slack. A withheld why. What happens defies comprehension, but you believe you have seen the entire gallery implode into a space the size of a pearl. Then, a minute later, it does not explode so much as implode in reverse, returning to its previous state. Does that not qualify as exploding? You do not understand what has happened, let alone its purpose. I guess maybe expand more than explode? Whatever. Your crew seem to gossip about it being the work of the masters. Alternatively, only from beings beyond the southern edge of reality have I heard of such manipulations of matter, converses one know-it-all. Southern edge. What's there, then? Since the presbyterate isn't. Are we all just a blip in reality itself? Probably not. Anyway. Oh, wrong thing. Okay, let's, well, actually, hang on. First, let's donate an outlandish artifact to the gallery. This could be worth 1,000 words, surely. Or at least a dozen. A worthy donation. Here's a place for it, atop this pile of still squirming... Actually, here's a better place for it, on these metal slabs. From somewhere above you, you hear a grinding of stone. Okay. And again. Yeah. Now I've got 2. And now we wait for something awaits you. Which is an odd sentence to have to say. Ah. Here we go. Enter the gallery. The stairway beckons. Will you find your way through? Pretty sure. 82% sure, in fact. Words lost in time. You flit from wall to wall, taking in the sentences that the gallery is known for. "Take my child, not me," cries one exhibit. "I would cross the Z for you," declares another. A third simply states, "Never again." Powerful statements, certainly, but bereft of context, their only effect on you is a nostalgic giddiness. Nostalgic? Did I put them here? The path seems to loop in on itself, but you spot another staircase hidden away in an alcove. A way further up is available if you choose. Indeed, words bereft of context are just noise. Scribblings, in this case. I lost 5 terror, exactly what I gained from... Funny. Okay. Deeper, then. And again. Recipes for success. The second floor contains recipes of every kind. Not just for food, you quickly realize. There's a recipe for the perfect romance. A baffling recipe for hydrogen. A recipe for eternal flame overlaid over a bubbling cauldron. The Admiralty may find some use in this recipe for success in a battle between 2 nations. You briefly wonder if the gallery contains a recipe for a life well lived, whatever that means. Before you locate one, the stairs to the next floor loom up ahead. Apparently not. Okay. Another piece of strategic information. You love to see it. Of course. That's why. And that's where. And now you know who. I can't progress further unless I'm willing to stake my secrets on it. Well, I'll apparently have to do this 4 more times by the looks of it, so... Best not. I can return here later. I have other things to do today, after all. Next time I'll swing by the Arms of the Machine to get some more outlandish artifacts. Might need to do that multiple times, actually. Hmm. 500 health. That's a lot of health for something that I wonder if I could do it like I do the ships. Get behind it. I don't. Nope. That's why I can't do that. Right. Because they can do shit like that. Get behind this. Get behind this. Phew. They can't shoot through that, fortunately, just like I can't. I assume. Yeah. In theory, you can get behind the beast just like you can with ships, but they can do that charge thing even at angles like that, and will just swing around. Might theoretically be doable, but I think I'd need a better engine for that. Or some other method of gaining more speed. Uh-oh, okay. Also, more cannonballs. I forgot to stock up on those. Huh? That pirate frigate. Ooh, Mēkhanē. Thank goodness I didn't go for that pirate frigate, because I would have been screwed by that eel. Probably. Mēkhanē. Hello. Mēkhanē approach. By the time you are finished marking this island on your map, the grand castle that you originally saw has vanished, replaced by a dense jungle. A moment later, there is not a tree in sight, only a smoking, volcanic summit. Then, great golden towers, a muddied slick of oily rock, the hide of some unfathomable Z-beast. The changes growing faster and faster as you approach. Lights flare and die at random along the shore, leading you to a dock, or at least something which is consistently dock-shaped. What's up, Doc? Find your footing. The very sand of the shore is changing each second. The port is all at once a dilapidated remnant and a thriving municipality. This may take a moment. Hearts or mirrors? Let's go with hearts, why not? Staying centered. A birdsong turns into the distant thunder of machinery, then to silence. You must rely on your own steel, it seems. An ever-changing concept, uncaptured. Lightning fast, Mēkhanē changes once again. What can be said of this place that would not alter itself a moment later?
Well, that, I suppose. Unless...
Mēkhanē, an unpleasant incomprehensibility taunting the mind. What is happening? The dock's dimensions shift dramatically as boots touch waterlogged wood. The shape of land rises, falls, and shifts with an indecisive angst. The trees are waving madly. Some kind of marsupial peeks from the undergrowth, only to morph into an entire flock of pigeons and vanish. A moment ago, you were sure you smelled burning trash on the breeze. Now, you're not so sure. What a strange places this are. Art thou Blemigans? Yes, yes there are. A Blemigan. Your crew express their doubts as you try to steady a barrel of fungal water into an ever-shifting dock. They fall silent as a tumbleweed rolls toward you, explodes into a whirling rocket, and then lands in the form of a Blemigan directly into the trap. Well then. Well then, indeed. Sometimes things just turn out, now don't they? Witness the gregarious occultist's pyromancy. Mēkhanē is an island in a state of constant flux, much like the shape of the fire is in constant flux. Perhaps this is a prime place for pyromancy. Alliteration. Saki. Sachi? Sassy? I don't know. There is likely something here that causes Mēkhanē to be in constant flux. But if so, it does not respond to the gregarious occultist pyromancy ritual. In fact, Mēkhanē's flux continually squashes any chance of maintaining a fire pit long enough for the occultists to speak the word for their ritual. Okay then. Scour the half-thought beach. Impossibly shifting shores. Could gift impossibly lovely treasure. Mayhap. Things have already gone impossibly well for me already. The half-thought beach. The sands shift as rapidly here as anywhere else. Perhaps into something you can use. Something shiny. The promise of treasure draws you close. A shimmer in the distance. Perhaps the beach's metamorphosis is kind to you. A putrid smell. It is as if you have angered a whole survey of skunks. And... or something edible. You hope to catch and cook it quickly, in hopes that with speed it may not morph into something else. Which of these should I do? Well, as someone who has played a great deal of this, and knows a great deal about Mēkhanē, I have no fucking idea. It's all extremely random and inconsistent, because that's Mēkhanē for you. Let's go with something shiny, why not? Is it glass? The shoreline of the beach seems to boil, your feet stung by a sudden glaring heat that bites upward from the sand. You watch, astounded, as the shore grows so hot it turns to glass, stopping only where the waves no longer touch the sand. No sooner had it manifested, you feel the intense heat radiating from the shore slowly fade to an inviting warmth. The glass-like surface of the submerged sand winks at you, daring you to break off a piece. A casket of sapphires. Such treasures are only found under an equally blue sky. Are they? Attempt to venture deeper. What is causing these paroxysms of reality? The shifts lash out. The island's incomprehensibility worsens. A Zayla shrieks as she is swallowed by a sinkhole that morphs into a collapsed bell tower. You retreat before this unclear reality swallows you too. Does that always happen? Hang on. Yes, that's actually consistent. Okay. A surprising bit of consistency here, to be sure. Well, let's tarry here a moment, shall we? I want to show you a few more things here. Now, say, back to the half-thought beach. Oh! Well, this is new. Something grotesque. A most morbid curiosity. Ridges. You see what looks like a jellyfish, sitting gelatinous and plump in the sand. You pull a stick of driftwood out of the sand to gently poke it. Rather than the stick bouncing back as you expected from the mushroom top of the jellyfish, the stick pushes further in. You notice the jellyfish is full of ridges, and not translucent but almost sand-colored. And not translucent, but almost sand-colored. As you brush away sand with the stick, you see a disembodied, dead, one hopes, monkeys, one hopes, brain. It's somehow both harder and mushier than you expected. You will need something better suited for scooping than poking, you think, as you begin trying to collect it in a jar. Now that is peculiar, but that's not what I wanted to show you. Now then. Well, we could do something shiny again. The thing I wanted to... And if we do something shiny again, well, the light. The shoreline of the beach seems to boil. Your feet are stung by a sudden glaring heat that bites upwards from the sands. You watch astounded as the shore grows so hot it turns to glass, stopping only where the waves no longer touch the sand. No sooner had it manifested, you feel the intense heat radiating from the score slowly fade to an inviting warmth. You sit stunned as that warmth seems to radiate light. You glimpse the world above through the waves, feel the sun bear witness to your shadowed form, and rejoice. Rather different, innit? Yeah. As you can probably tell, that's the whole deal with Mēkhanē. Every single visit here is different, or usually anyway, no matter which option you take. You could say that it's not a single port, but thousands of potential ports in one. I don't know about thousands, but, well. But that's enough of that for now. Perhaps. Now let's see what has become of the avid horizon. Gabriel's Gate. Now, there we go. Shops now. Gabriel's Gate, from whence he came. A portal, cathedral vast, stands open on a frozen spit of land. Blinding whiteness engulfs what lies beyond. What light spills out worms into your flesh like a cold sunlight, leaving you pitted and scarred. There are other ships at the dock, all abandoned, all crumbling. Do not stay here long, lest the light claim you too. If we had an unclear device, we could enter the gate. Unclear devices destroy light. Indeed, they were designed to fight stars, after all. They will create regions of darkness that you can safely traverse. Take plenty of unclear devices if you venture in. I'll do that once I know how to get one. Don't think there's a Blemigan here now. This would be a peculiar place for one. Gather report. All still. For now. Maybe forever. Nothing moves. Others were here before you and were incautious, or never intended to return. The might of Gabriel is a seductive one. What manner of creature could survive in such a place? Whiteness. Whiteness. Cold sunlight, not the light of a judgment, not as I know it. What is this peculiar light? Look around. Is there something in the shadows? This place is getting to you. The light plays tricks. You're seeing things that aren't there. But where did this long black hair come from? An obstinate ninja. I'm surprised you found me. A woman sings songs from the top of a towering boulder. She picks at her nails with a kunai, barely sparing you a glance. Most people do not detect my presence at all. I will not bother you, so long as you do not disturb my mission. I must wait for Gabriel. Gabriel? He emerged years ago. He and Stargon killed one another. This is common knowledge. It died? Then it was not Gabriel. A shrug. My orders were clear. I will wait as long as I have to. Wait, where did she go? There was courage in never, ever, ever giving up. A few other things as well, too. Okay. It died, then it was not Gabriel. Who can say? Can increase my veils up to 200 at the cost of Foxfire candles. Extraordinary people. I see. They're gonna be one for each stat. She'll share some tips and tricks in exchange for something to warm herself with. Ha. I guess this is an alternative to dealing with Sunless Sea's buggery with the things that you can create in your study with 7 secrets to raise a stat. And then you'd have to go somewhere to sell it because you could only have one at a time for some reason. I don't know. Silliness. This seems a lot more convenient. If less potentially profitable. But never mind. I have no need for it at the moment. If I need to increase my veils, I have options. Kind of unfortunate that I've reduced my terror so much this episode, considering... Well. Oh well. Hopefully I can stumble upon... judging by the way these things have generated so far, I think bestiary has to be here? Good old Frostfound, or Silver's Palace as it's called here. always takes up like 3/4 of the entire region, so it's not exactly hard to stumble upon, now is it? Below this could be Nameragawa and Neokamakura, and whatever the third place was. Silver's Palace. Gone are the days when dragons were content to sleep idly atop their hoard. Impossible, implausible, surely architecturally unsound. Yet here it stands, a castle fit for a god. Its edges chilled and defined, despite the low breeze and lapping of the waves. The near tower is a crawling hive of bankers and investors, said to contain all the amassed treasures of the worlds. The far tower, so it is said, belongs to silver alone. Make investments at the stock market. Successful investment, so some would argue, is more certain at Ormond's racetrack. Ha! Follow the shadowed servant. He's up to something. Find out what. No tracks. The unmelting ice that forms Silver's palace leaves no marks. In no time at all, you've lost all sign of him. The warmly cloaked investors in the stock market are raising a clamor beyond the usual yelling about buy and sell orders. Look up. Everyone is pointing. The palace melting. A spire from Silver's palace made of unmelting ice is melting. It is turning into a waterfall, the spire's sharp angles and crenellations slipping into a liquid rush. In the consequent crowds that gather to gawk, you will never find the shadowed servant, but this is more interesting anyway. The investors from the stock market are speculating on a cause, and even starting side bets on it that seem to you hard to ever verify one way or another. But no one has ever heard of Silver's ice melting, and the guesses for the reasons vary wildly. Most theories center on some sort of redesign by or outburst of anger from Silver himself. Mayhap. Snoop in on the Shadowed Servant's cabin again. There's no point having a ship's master key if you never use it. Look into his wardrobe. Maybe he keeps identification or important papers in the inner pockets of a suit or the lining of a cap. Elevated outfits. Lots of fine but unbranded black luggage cases litter the room this time. He has not bothered to unpack his clothes and hang them in the wardrobe. Instead, you must unzip and snoop through his cases of luggage. Perhaps he expects to leave your care soon, or unexpectedly. The first case of luggage seems to be filled with clothing. Rather than the semi-formal clothes you see him in regularly, you first find a cloak made from the skins of shaved serpents. Is he one of the crooks? The mysterious beings who supposedly overthrew the Finger Kings? Who did what? Or merely able to disguise himself as one? Further down in the same case, you find the exact, memorable cloak you are sure you have seen worn by Mr. Iron, one of the masters of the bazaar. Below that, you find one of the most horribly anguished and seemingly ancient no-masks you have ever seen, wrapped in an American elite's silk kimono of unmatched quality. There's plenty else of the servant's belongings you want to interrogate for answers, but you hear noises approaching these quarters. It turns out to be an unsuspecting crew member, but out of caution you have already left and locked the room for now. And yet more fragments of the truth needed. Right. Getting closer, then. Getting closer. Hello. Engage an officer, the grim quartermaster. Come, come, you magnificent bastard. We have much to discuss. Okay. Welcome aboard. Speak to me soon, you magnificent bastard. There is much of great import that I must tell you. Come, fool girl. The quartermaster's apprentice, whom you had not noticed until now, picks up his bags and rushes aboard on his heels. Grim quartermaster, an aura of dark mystery suffuses him, but his piercing gaze discourages your own. Fear him. Okay. Frightened apprentice. Evidently she does. She darts about in dim corners of the engine room, appearing to rather wish that she was anywhere else. What is she so afraid of? Him, I assume. And pick up a passenger. Money talks. It says it wants to get out of here. Ha! Crumbling gnomon. Already pieces fall away like dandruff across the deck. Interesting. A crumbling gnomon. It's its handler who speaks. Sounding good servant, but the latest lacquer shipment never arrived. There's a pretty penny in it for you if you can get it at Crying Heights. Pronto. I don't know if it's actually time sensitive. I don't think so. Let's see. Silver's Palace. Silver's Palace. Nope. No blame against the Silver's Palace. Follow the money. The money leads you here. The Lords of Trade. People dress in heavy furs here, especially for their boots. Umwelt, Shogunate, and Londoner merchant vessels zip in and out of port. Nearly anything in the Nath can be bought from Silver's vast stores. And you may be able to get ahead of stock market surprises, you think, by seeing whom is buying what. Alright, shops. Let's make some money. Worship of silver is practiced through mutually beneficial commerce. You'll love to see it. The all market. Everything must go. Bloody hell, those are terrible fuel prices. Bad prices for everything, frankly, especially Skintlack. Bloody hell. Everything must go my ass. Silver's stash. Are you captain enough to make deals with a god? Mayhap. Out Nomad's heart, huh? Maybe. Nath Jade. Not a bad place to get it, although there's a better. Outlandish artifact. Could come in handy, certainly. Casket of emeralds. A casket of rubies. I could sell that for a pretty penny. I'll keep it, just in case. I can always swing by here again if I get more. Visit the patrician numismatician. The who what now? Nice name. Every coin ever made. It's unclear what the patrician numismatician does, or how she made her fortune. That's a fun name to say. That'd be a fun word to sing. But it's evident from her collection that it is vast enough to waste on this museum, which contains every type of currency ever manufactured. Coins from cultures you did not know ever existed, with dragons on one side and faces with hollow eyes under a tiara on the other. Bone dice coated in silver leaf stripes, and the jewel of the collection, a rhombicasa dodecahedral ruby, glimmering through russet, unmelting ice, under constant watch, given by a suitor to an alien and ancient queen, then used by her to barter for dominion over a city. Alien and ancient, what? Rhombicasa dodecahedral is also a fun word to say. Rhombicasa dodecahedral. Try saying that 5 times fast. Rhombicasa dodecahedral. 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 Easy peasy. Anyway. Enter the Far Palace. Perhaps you have some reason to speak with Silver. Perhaps curiosity alone drives you. How many can say they have conversed with a god? But first, you're halted before you can cross the Great Bridge by a scale-clad knight. What gift do you offer in exchange for Silver's time? A gift for a godling. Far from slaying the greedy worm, this jewel-clad knight seems keen to add to his hoard. I've got this Sunless fruit. I don't know what to do with it. Well, I don't think I really have any business with Silver at the moment. All he does, if you don't have any business with him, all he does is send you on little side quests that don't really... Well, no guess today. You were just looking. No charge for that, is there? Then be gone. A sapphire glaive points you back toward the docks. Alright then. Bit aggressive, this one. No singing here from the Song Weaver. Guess they're more interested in the Siren's Song of Prophet. Fair enough. Well, let's go. If I'm very, very lucky, the Shogunate will be right here. Got a bad feeling about that rock. Got a bad feeling about that rock too. Yeah, I recognize this rock formation. Damn it. This is the Sea of Lilies tile. Or, as it's called in this history, Oishigeta. Technically part of the Shogunate, but not part of the same tile. Damnation. Oh. Ah. Okay. Well, I didn't find it, but... Oh! If Bestiary is here, then that means... just a little over here should be... Oh, crap. One of these, for one. Huh? Oh, he just repaired himself. Forgot that these guys can do that. Well, it won't help you now. It'll just make it easier for me to take down your crew without taking you down. Excuse me. Could you... There we go. You've defeated a poaching vessel. This band of desperate mortals and their slipshod ship will trouble the terrors of the deep north no longer. First time I can send home with a prize crew. 2 sailors should be enough for a skeleton crew, and she's fast enough to avoid most trouble. Sure. See, check out that mechanic. I don't think I saw it a single time in my Sunless Sea playthrough. We were fortunate. Awaiting your pleasure. When you next return to London, return to your lodgings to claim your prize money. And get back my crew, of course. Now there should be, somewhere around here, not that, another port. Where are you? Ah, there you are. I remember not finding this for ages the first time I played Sunless Sea Rewritten. Bloody aggravating. Labyrinth of Light? It twists and undulates like the intestines of some great beast. Crap! Damn it. Outside the snarl, they say there's a treasure at its core, and also a monster, and also a curse, possibly all 3. You know the kinds of things they say. Deliver the singular twin to his destination. He looks you in the eyes. Supplies are low. I'll need some of yours. You couldn't have told me this before when we were at any number of places that had... Okay. Sure. Thanks. Fucking fantastic. Okay, we'll come back there. Here we are at Bestiary, the place that replaces... I think it was... that place with the rats and the cavies. The alleged home of wondrous strays. We have a fair bit of business here. Now, don't we? So naturally, it was the last place of this entire little region of areas that we stumble upon. A great deal of business here, indeed. But that's for next time. So until then, I've been Joe Bob, and I'm very peeved. And remember, dislike the video, unsubscribe if you're for some reason subscribed, and leave a nasty comment in the comment section down below. Fuck you all so much for watching, and so long, suckers.